Hey everybody, this is Elise from Camp ASCCA, and you're listening to Camp ASCCA, the podcast, the show that dives into all things ASCCA and the people that make camp the incredible place it is. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to like, subscribe, and follow us on social media to stay up to date with what's happening here at camp. That's at Camp ASCCA, CampASCCA.
Hey everyone, this is another episode of Camp ASCCA, the podcast. I'm Matt Rickman, Camp ASCCA's camp director, and today we'll be talking with Kelly Edens. Kelly is the Therapeutic Recreation Manager at Shepherd Center in Atlanta, Georgia. She has extensive experience with therapeutic recreation as well as Camp ASCCA, and so we're excited to get to know a little bit more about her. So, hey Kelly, how are you doing?
Oh, great. Thank you.
Good, good. We'll start off. We'll get to the work aspect, but we always like to start off and just kind of get to know you a little bit better. So if you don't mind, we'll ask some personal questions. But if you could just tell us a little bit about yourself, maybe your family, where you're from, that sort of thing.
That sounds great. Thanks for having me. So I'm Kelly Edens. I lived in Atlanta most of my life, and I met my husband Matt in at Shepherd Center, where I've worked for 25 years. Come this year, so I sort of grew up at Shepherd and was a therapist throughout the continuum of care, and was the has been the manager for the past 15 years. Matt is actually a rec therapist too, and in charge of our sports team. So he travels all over the country and world competing with coaching and working with the athletes. So he's out and about a lot doing the same type of thing, where I'm working more with inpatients and day program in house. We have two daughters, one about to be 16, which I'm not quite ready for. And then I have a 12-year-old, both into travel soccer, travel basketball. So when I'm not at Shepherd, I am either on a basketball court, soccer field, or being an Uber. So, but I love to be active. I like to be competitive and just, being around people.
Wow, wow, that's you got a lot going on. Yeah, we did the travel soccer thing with our kids too, and yeah, I know that takes up a whole lot of your spare time, and your weekends and whatnot. And for those of you that don't know, Kelly and I, we've been working together here at camp and with Shepherd for gosh, probably 30 years. So we've known each other a long time. And I know her husband Matt, and he's actually the reason when Shepherd comes to camp, I lose my name and I get called ASCCA Matt
Yes.
the whole time because it was confusing when your Matt used to come to camp and they would call on the radio for Matt and we would both answer. So I became ASCCA
Well, it's
Matt.
permanent now. Everyone, I,
And
I just say that even in the inserts. We had our meeting this morning and we pretty much said, ask him out. We got to call him. Yeah, it's
so
stuck.
so yeah, even though Matt no longer comes to the weekends here at camp because he's on the road with the travel teams, yeah, the Ask a Matt thing still stuck. So, well, good deal. And I've actually, Kelly, I've never even asked you this question, but my next question is about like where you went to college and got your degree. Did you Matt's a CTRS as well? Did y'all meet in college?
No, we met at Shepherd. So Matt went to University of Georgia,
Mm,
and I went to Georgia Southern. So we didn't know of each other until we started working at Shepherd. He actually was an intern when we met, which we did not see each other then. But that's how we met, and we dated, and then we did not date because Shepherd was very important to me and my job. And then we ended up we dated without telling people. And then I came in with a ring on my finger one day, and it
wow.
went from there. But I went to Georgia Southern with a Bachelor's of Science, emphasis in therapeutic recreation, and then interned out in Colorado, and then started at Shepherd. Back in the day, I was a therapy tech because certification was a little bit different. It wasn't offered like they do now. So then I had many jobs throughout Shepherd, and then became manager, and been here for 15 years. So I stayed in the state a little bit, but had to go out west for my internship to get a little bit more diverse experience.
Nice, nice. Good for you. My diverse experience was Camp ASCCA was my internship. So, well, tell us since you're a CTRS, which is a certified therapeutic recreation specialist, could you tell us a little bit about that, or maybe what that means? I know it means different things in different settings, but maybe what that means to you in your setting.
Yeah. So I know there's a lot of activity coordinators or whatnot within the world, the country, or whatnot. Being a certified rec therapist is having the degree, working with people of diverse amount of disabilities and really looking at the scope, looking at the leisure skills, leisure counseling. We do a lot of wellness throughout those aspects, community integration, the teaching the philosophy and the through the school and the components of what it takes to assess, evaluate the patients once they're in-house inpatient and sort of take them through the treatment goals, short-term and long-term, working with other disciplines within the clinical aspect. The CTRS can work in the community as well. We have inpatient, we also have day program, and at Shepherd, we have the community. So that's one reason I have stayed at Shepherd because we really have the whole gamut of care where we see repeaters that are in the community, but we have someone who's just got here yesterday and we're already doing rec therapy with them. So sort of teaching them how to be active and stay that healthy lifestyle so they're not back in the hospital with secondary complications, depression, or anything like that. So being a certified rec therapist is really giving people overall quality of life and doing things that any average person would do. They might need some adaptive equipment or more time to do X, Y, and Z. And the more they do something, the easier it becomes. But it's just showing them the skills that we know so they can better their life and go do what they want to do.
Wow. You guys are doing a lot. So, uh, and I guess, and I probably should have asked this at the beginning or explained this at the beginning, but you'll do a better job than I will. Maybe tell us a little bit about, Shepherd Center. I know Shepherd Center is actually, nationally recognized, world renowned, if you will. But maybe who it is you guys serve and what kind of the mission is of Shepherd Center.
Okay, yes. Well, Mrs. Shepherd, who is about 94, is still here every day. So that's how the Shepherd Center started with their son who has passed. But it's really quality of life. We're very specialized. So we have a spinal cord unit and a brain injury unit. Within the brain injury unit, we also have stroke, DOC, which is disorders of consciousness. So we have really the two units. If you go to a traditional rehab center, you sort of have a hodgepodge of disabilities. So you could have an amputee, spinal cord, brain injury, all in one team for a rec therapist or OT, PT, speech, or whatnot. Here at Shepherd, floors 4 and 5 are straight spinal cord. You could have an amputee, but really you're treating the same disability for all your patients, the same way on brain injury. So you're not having a hodgepodge of patients with different various disabilities, which is really unique. There is a facility out west that's the same thing. So we really have our clients or patients come from up and down the coast. We have evaluators up and down the coast of the United States that bring patients in. A lot of our patients are not from Georgia. We'll be at sometimes where they're from all over. A lot of people West Coast will go to Craig, which is out west, which sort of mimics what we do. They are one of our challenging components, but we do the same kind of thing, which is great. So we have a lot of research as well. So it really meets patient inpatient, where they're here 24/7 with nursing care. And then day program is where it's like 9 to 4 going to school, where they're on their own in the evening on the weekend so they can really practice those skills. And then we have traditional outpatient single service with the OT, PT, speech. They may come in. They do have rec therapy. Due to us being donor funded, it's free. So, like anyone who is outpatient, a lot of the OTs and PTs will refer them to us. A lot of outpatients have never even been at Shepherd for an inpatient, so they have no idea what they can and can't do. So some people aren't even going out to dinner, going to the grocery store, shooting pool, going swimming, going to the beach because they don't know that they can do that. So we get a lot of referrals from that standpoint, which are sort of fun because we're really exposing people to just life. And then we have our community events. So we do about 30 to 40 community events for anybody to attend. We go snow skiing out west. We have like a tennis clinic locally, pickleball, uh, fitness, pretty much any kind of leisure skill someone would do. We really have clinics throughout the year, which we host, and people sign up for that too, as well as our camp that we do. That's one of them too, which is really great. And a lot of our events, we get 50% new people. So our goal as far as Shepherd and my goal as far as managing the rec therapy program is really exposing new people to a lot of these skills. Repeaters are great for mentorship, but I don't want a whole bunch of repeaters because that way you can really get people opportunity to see what they may not know they could do.
Mhm. Awesome. You guys have got a lot going on. This is a question I've meant to ask you before. As far as just the rec therapy side of things, about how many employees do you guys have? How many people are in your department?
People laugh when I say this because a lot of rec therapists, they might have 10 or 12. There's 35 of us. I can go up to 40 because I do have PRN staff. which are staff that are they're CTRSs that are trained when somebody's out on vacation or whatnot, I will pull them in. So we have about 40. And we have patients on the brain injury inpatient, the day program brain injury, inpatient spinal cord, day program spinal cord. I do have some drivers in that. So they're not all, there's about 24 CTRSs, and the rest are either driver techs, managers, support staff. But what makes Shepherd really, really unique is we have 7 specialists. So when Shepherd started, the first medical director, Dr. Apple, who's still here with us and very part of Shepherd, he paid out of pocket for the first rec therapist, which is huge. So rec therapy is really the foundation of Shepherd, which is not really seen in a lot of places. And that's why we have so many people. Which we have, and with Matt's sports teams, my husband's sports teams, we have lots of equipment. I mean, we have 3 basketball teams, it's power soccer, so we have a lot of equipment. So it's great to have all the resources for people to do. But the specialists, we have aquatics, horticulture, art, outdoor sports, music, and exercise physiologists. So as a rec therapist, I'm going to go and evaluate a patient, and then I'm going to refer. I can do those skills, yes, but I can also refer those to all the specialists, which they're going to gear Monday through Friday. That's what they do, and then I can do more stuff with the patients one to one or in groups or on community outings. But we really specialize. So we had a patient, like we have a patient right now who does beekeeping. That's one of his big things. So we have a place that does beekeeping. We reached out to a donor who does that, and we're going to take the patient and do beekeeping. Not too long ago, a patient got engaged, and so we took her to get her wedding dress. So we really specialize the patients each to what they need and what they may do long term. But getting in, like the sports specialist, getting in the hand cycle or getting in a power soccer chair. We go hunting. We had someone kayak. We can't go to the lake because it's cold right now, so we get the kayak in the pool. So the
Mm,
specialists really elevate another level, that we can demonstrate that much more in-house, for staffing.
awesome. Well, you guys are killing it. I didn't realize it was that big, and I also didn't know that's kind of the foundation of Shepherd Center. So that
Which
makes
is
me
great.
for our profession.
Yeah,
Uh,
we're lucky.
yes. Well, speaking of you mentioned the outings and you mentioned Camp ASCCA. So the Adventure Skills Workshop that we host here at camp every May. And I know me and you have tried to figure out the years, but we think it's around 30 years that you guys have been coming
Yeah.
here or
Before
thereabout.
it used to be beach camp, I heard, before I was part of it. But yeah, it has to be at least 30.
Yeah,
I think
so
it's more than
that's
30.
a long relationship for both of us, and I know on our side, I know me and you've had in-depth conversations about how much I appreciate what you guys do and vice versa, and we appreciate that. But maybe just tell our listeners a little bit more about ASW and kind of what that weekend entails.
Okay, yeah. Well, ASW is Adventure Skills Workshop. It's one reason I'm still at Shepherd. I didn't always lead it. I was part of it for the past 25 years, but I have led it for a while now. And I really don't want to let it go unless I have to. Because it's the mission of Shepherd. It's being a rec therapist.
Remember,
Um,
you and I have a deal. You're not allowed to leave it.
I know. Well, you too. You too. Every year I'm like, you're not going to retire yet.
Retire at the
Uh,
same time and hand
Well,
it over.
yeah, and I mean, the relationship you have with me, like, I would never think to move camp because, like, you and Dana are so great and flexible. I don't like to micromanage, and I like to bend the rules a little bit if we have to. Not that we're breaking anything, and safety is always number one. But you allow us to be open. As Shepherd, we really think outside the box, and that's what I like to do as a person because I want the person who we're not treating, but who's participating in our events, I want the participants to do as much as they can because this might be their one shot to do something. So with ASW, we have, water ski, jet ski, which I know is something that you guys don't do a lot, but you allow us to come do it,
Mhm.
kayaking, tubing. Some of our boat drivers do have a disability too. So they bring their own boats, which is a long way for them to travel, which I'm thankful for that. But that way people that can see how they're driving the boat, what's accessible. It's great to tag team on the competence course. So we have some staff, but you guys sort of lead it more than us, but we're learning from you. And then the participant part, if they have not worked that disability, I feel like that's where our expertise come for the participants with your staff. But I think it's great because it really focuses on aquatics and outdoor activities with the target shooting and skeet shooting. We also have sprinkled some sports. With basketball, we used to do quad rugby, but people got a little too violent with our equipment, so we pulled back on that because people who are not quadriplegics wanted to play, and that got a little out of hand. But I think it's huge. We do a lot in one weekend. Well, actually, like 2 days, to be honest. And what makes me so proud of it is I open St. Patrick's Day, and within 4 hours, it fills up. And so, I mean, that just speaks volumes for the staff here to advertise for it and just how great your staff are and us, what event we do. Because even now being, 25 years at Shepherd, this program is like filling up in 4 hours. That gives kudos to you and I feel, in both of our programs because that's new people are coming. And we have, for this year, we have more, over 50% is new coming. So I thank you because I think it wouldn't be as successful if we both didn't have the components that we have to put the great event on.
Yeah, no, and I feel the same way. I know y'all don't believe me when I tell you this, but it's one of my favorite weekends of the year. I look forward to it every year, and it's just amazing. The participants that you guys bring are obviously just awesome and amazing, and so many stories. And then your staff is so professional and caring, but they also know how to be at camp and have a good time, and it's
Yeah,
just
and I think we stretch, like, I usually hit between 15 to 17 states coming. So,
yeah.
like, we're opening the camp to people across the country, which is pretty amazing because that shows that reflects what Shepherd's about, but it also brings it to your camp, which is, I think, huge.
Yeah, no, it's a great relationship, and we certainly hope to keep that going. And our goal, and I know it's your goal too, is that yeah, that every year we do it, that was the best one. Like let's
Yeah.
make this
I'm still
year's.
gonna ask for my hummus, though, just so you know.
That yeah, y'all do get a little high maintenance on the salad bar, but
I'm sorry.
if that's our biggest challenge, then it's definitely a great weekend.
Well,
So
I appreciate that.
and we're looking forward to it. I know this segment will probably air after you guys are here, but we're looking forward to the upcoming just here in a few weeks. You guys coming
Us
here,
too.
so this may be a tough one. Could you maybe tell me what's your favorite thing about ASW, or do you have a story or anything that sticks out?
Well, I love camp in general. I actually have my niece is actually getting married this year, and I'm actually not going to the wedding because I'm going to camp. I just think camp in general, it just means a lot. Like I like seeing you all. I mean, it's almost like a family thing. If I didn't do it, it's sort of I missed one I know because I had a child, which I couldn't miss that. But I think when I first started, 2 stories really hit home for me. One was a long time ago, and one was a couple years after that. I was at the tubing site, and there was a quadriplegic, and for our camp, you have to take their swim test. You get to take a swim test to be able to do any water activity. And I was at the tubing site just looking over to make sure everything was running, and, I had a mom who started crying, and I was like, "Oh god, what did I not do, or what is she not happy with?" So I went up there and I was like, "Is everything okay?" And she was like, "Yeah, everything's fine." And I was like, "Okay, well, you're crying, so you need to like, what's wrong? Because that's not normal. It's beautiful out. It's, your son's getting on a tube." Here to find out, like, she didn't think any of this was possible. So the mom cries and the dad comes over here and starts crying too. And then they finally told me that, and I was like, "Oh," I said, "Well, do you want to get in the boat? I mean, like, he hasn't even gone anywhere." Um, and they just couldn't believe it, and then they were gonna water ski. He's like, "Yeah, but he can't water ski. I think we need to change it. He's got water ski on a schedule." And I'm like, "Oh, no, that's right. That's right down the, sidewalk. You'll get to it." And he was like, "He can water ski." And I'm like, "Yes." I was like, "That's what this camp is for." So, I started joking I was gonna have tissues at every site because it's not like people had stories like this. Like, it was just and people able to tell their story because sometimes that's not always easy, but it wasn't always the participants, it was the families, which I think is really important. One thing I don't feel like we can do that is asked, I think we do a better job each year, is the families want to participate in a lot of stuff, which they're not able to because I have about 45 people I have to get. There are some things they can do, but I think it's important in this camp because it does bring people together. And another story was just I had someone at kayak who he was a high quadriplegic who could pass the swim test, but they were traveling back. Him and his family were traveling back from a kayak trip, and they got into a kayak. And like I didn't know fully the whole story because again, I don't know all these people that come to the camp personally. And the mom just lost it because here, the brother they actually lost in an accident. But the son who was got hurt and the dad got in the kayak and they hadn't done that since the injury. So it's just, but they were so thankful and like, hey, I can do this in memory of my brother and son. So, like, those moments are, like, huge. Like, it's nothing big, but it's just the quality of life. So I think, like, those type of stories mean more, and I really feel like every time we come to camp, it doesn't have to be that drastic by any means, but, like, it happens, and people can just leave there knowing they can go on a kayak trip or they can do any of this. And if they don't know how, they can even call you or me to see what they can do next to, could go enjoy life.
No, that's amazing. I hadn't I knew the first story. I hadn't heard the kayak one. That's pretty good. You're gonna get me all misty eyed here
Oh, I know.
is that
I'm glad we're not on camera.
but yeah, that's what it's all about, man. That people ask me all the time, what do you do at camp? And I'm like, you can't even put it into words sometimes because there's so many of those kind of stories that happen. And I agree too. Something that kind of flies under the radar a little bit because we can get focused on the skiing and the kayaking and tubing and all that. But yeah, I think it's the parents coming here, the family members coming here, and having those, getting to see those moments and getting to talk to each other, getting to talk to another family who's gone through a similar circumstance, and
And we don't do enough of they ask for that a lot, but it's so hard because we only have, like, 48 hours, literally.
yeah, there's
Um
only hours in a day, but I know you've seen it, and I've personally seen it where those people do make those connections.
Oh, yeah.
They exchange phone numbers and,
And I try to connect. I try to, like, do peers without knowing, but sometimes it's just, like, sleeping in a bed. Like, they sleep in a hospital bed, so they didn't even know it's not even the activities. It's just, like, I'm staying in a different room with a new bathroom, which means they can go on a trip. They can go do stuff.
yeah, it's all about adapting.
Right.
Good deal. Well, I guess the last question about camp and ASW is, it has been a long time, and I guess I'm fishing for compliments here. So, but why do you think, uh, Shepherd could go to a lot of different places, and I know y'all do go to other places, but why Camp ASCCA?
Well, funny you say that, because I was challenged with a change and people asked, and I said, "No." Well, I think, you and Dana and your staff, like, they're amazing. Like, if I just say, "Hey, I wanna think," like I said, I bend a little bit, I'm gonna be like, "Hey, this person's never done this. Can we try it this way, or can we use an extra tool for this?" You support that. You're there, you're willing to problem solve something so someone can try something. Will it be successful? I have no idea. Of course, we do it safely and all that, but you guys are willing to bend a little bit with us to make a difference in someone's life. I think your staff and my staff work very well together. I think the lay of the land is very important. It's accessible. It's not 100% accessible, but nowhere you go is accessible. So I'm one that I want barriers to come up because I want us to show them how they could do it so they go and are successful in the future. So I think, it's with the equipment, with the staff, the location, it's not too far for people. I do have people come from New Hampshire, New Jersey, which they just make it happen. But I think it just shows people like you have to do that if you really want to do something. So I feel like Camp Ask is awesome. I think if you ever told us we couldn't come or for some reason it wasn't an option, I don't know where I would go because a lot of other camps have it's very structured where you have to do this, have to do that. Where I sort of gear at the camp to what the participants need, and as at Shepherd, we're very patient centered. So I appreciate it's like they're participants to me, not patients because they're out of the hospital. But I feel like camp is very participant centered as well as family. So we both do what we need to do for that weekend, and I think there's things that come up each year that we problem solve. And I think that's what makes the difference in people wanting to come back. And it's not just for the participant, but for the family. But I feel like it's for the staff. I mean, like my staffers are a lot more lax during camp, but it's more that family team bonding. But they feel so comfortable as soon as they come in. It's like you've known someone who you've never met before. So I wouldn't ever not do Camp Ask unless you told me we can't do Camp Ask.
Well, we're
I
good.
appreciate it.
No, you don't have to worry about that, and I appreciate that. Yeah,
And the menu, I know we're difficult on that, but I appreciate because and in some places the food's not really good either, and it checks all the balance because there's a lot of places that don't do that.
well, that's good to hear. But like I said, I think that's, I meant it when I said that you guys are one of my favorite groups, and it's because of all those things too that I do think we share the similar values and philosophies on. Yeah, it's all about the participant and how can we safely make this happen.
Yeah,
And
like, I feel like you had my back without
Yeah.
even asking you something, I feel like I can be like, "Yeah, Matt will say yes," even though I do ask you, just so you know. But I know that you do, so I appreciate it.
We're definitely usually on the same page,
Even if I
and I
say no, I'm, like, looking at you like mom and dad, like, "We're not doing that."
we can't
I
do that.
appreciate you just going with me, not knowing what you're going with.
Well, I last couple of questions here, but, I know, because I follow Shepherd, on social media, and kudos to your social media person because they put some great stuff. I enjoy reading some of those stories and whatnot. But I know there's, I guess recently or in the past year or 2, I know you guys have been doing a lot of construction, and maybe tell us a little bit about your facility.
Oh, yes. We are growing. We used to be very small and now we're very big. Down the street, we actually built, I want to say it's 16, 17 floors, and it's on housing. What's really cool about it is how they decorate it is all the states that have represented and have people have discharged to or have come from. They have put like each state, like one floor is North Carolina. So they have pictures and whatnot, decor from that state. But we have housing for our inpatients. So if you're an inpatient here, the family, they don't have to pay, they don't have to find. You do have a certain amount allotted days, but it's free, which is not, you don't see that other places. What is opening up just now that I'm very jealous, I'm on the main campus. So I'm right where the patients are. Um, they have a bridge. So James Shepherd, who passed away, the son, his motto was, "I can't, I can." So he was really big, and he can always said it like, "You can't, don't say I can't. You can do it. How are we going to do it?" And that's sort of the Shepherd mission and the quality of life. But there's a bridge, a glass bridge that goes from the main campus to the new building, which is a very long bridge. And technically, if you come to Shepherd, you drive like underneath it that connects both buildings. And the floors are all speckled blue and silver. I actually went in it last week. It's literally opening up. But all the finance, the research, a lot of the desk staff, people are moving over there. It's beautiful. It's very nice. I'm jealous. Um, so that's over there, but we have on the 11th floor, we have a huge innovation lab. So Shepherd is always thinking about ahead. What do we need to be thinking about with research, outcomes, and everything as a facility? They always want to be number one in everything that we do because we want our patients to get what they can get. The innovation lab is amazing. There's so many opportunities that we're going to be able to do there. Research, I mean, they're already thinking way ahead of what's coming out. We're doing a couple research papers for rec therapy, which is huge, and that's not usually norm around the other model systems or whatnot. So that's going over there. It's 11 floors. There's some shelled out because our brain injury unit is down this or about 15 minutes from here. So long term, our brain injury, spinal cord, and day programs and ABI will both go over there, but that's shelled out. They haven't really built that yet. So it's a lot of desk jobs that will be moving over there or are in process of moving over there, along with our assistant technology and our seating clinic, our driving program. So we have people who come and learning how to drive and get approved to drive. All our adaptive gaming and assisted tech stuff. So our patients have to go over there. It's not close. So getting a patient from like fifth floor down to the pool, sometimes they get lost. So like it's a little bit of a challenge to go through a bridge, through 3 elevators, up to 11 floors to go across the street. So we're testing all that out right now. Then ideally in May and starting May through July, we're going to start doing the main campus. So they're going to do like all the flooring, my rec room and the library is all getting remodeled. So there's going to be bits and pieces throughout the center, which actually going to the new building is amazing and white and modern and very clear. And coming back to the main, it's very a little bit different. So I'm excited to have the updates over here too, just to make it one big, nice outcome. But it's beautiful. It's starting here 25 years ago and only having one building go to 3 floors. I've seen it really expand to now 5 buildings and what it is. But and there's the garden areas, everything that is built around Shepherd and with the new place has a meaning. There's a courtyard and Home Depot represented that. So there's a big painting mural with a little man with an orange apron. It just everything has meaning to it. And so I think that's what Shepherd's all about. And it has purpose, but it's giving to everybody. So the housing for day program, for inpatient, the therapy floors, equipment, and the community is very supportive. So it's nice to have everything that we have. And I know that's not always the case everywhere you go.
Wow. Yeah, I always tell you, I'm like, "I need to get over to
I was
Atlanta and
gonna
s."
say you need to come now because it's or
Yeah,
when at least we soon within the next 2 years. I mean, the main campus it'll take a couple of years, maybe 2 years, but the 6th floor right now is all the office space with the people are moving over there, and the 6th floor actually will be added 35 more beds, which I didn't say. So we're going up from 152 to 200 beds. So that'll come. We're going to start hiring staff, I think, in 2026. Uh,
Hmm.
so we're going to have 35 more beds with the brain injury unit opening up there, so that we're going to add a whole nother floor of patients, which is a lot with, outings and vehicles. And what we do now, we're going to have to sort of double everything, which is a lot to process. But
Gonna have to add more staff.
yeah, I know I'll get more staff. So higher than 40.
Good grief. Well, that's awesome. That's awesome to hear that everything that you guys are, expanding, moving forward, and just doing more and more. And I can't imagine all the lives that you touch and have had an effect on. So lastly, Kelly, and I really appreciate your time today. If I'm a family and maybe we have had a family member or something, somebody that maybe recently had a spinal cord injury or a head injury or other thing. How do we get in touch with Shepherd Center? What's the best way to go about doing that?
That's a great question. Because just because if you went through Shepherd, it's great. But if you've never been through Shepherd, you can 100% do any of our community events. I have one rec therapist who's a health and wellness lead who plans all of them, and then therapists rotate to implement the clinics. But on the Shepherd website, if you go into rec therapy events, they just redid our website, so I'm hoping that's the right verbiage. But we have a whole page. So there's a link, a Camp Doc link that you have to have your account. But once you go onto the account, you can sign up for any events. We do have scholarship for some of our events too. So just because like if there's a ski trip for $500 and that's too much, like definitely look at that because we do have some scholarship funds. But we have local events. We travel across the country doing events too. So we could be in your backyard doing something. So or if you're in the neighborhood and need to do like a outpatient, we'd have to get you on a hand cycle, at the pool, anything like that. We'd love to assist you. We go to the airport once a month for travel. There's a lot of things I didn't talk about today because we have a group today going to at the airport that do everything. We don't take off. I try to do that, but we haven't been able to do that yet. I think we should fly to New York, have lunch, and come back. But we really we try to teach patients everything so they know what they can do. But that website has my information on it as well as any of our clinics that are shown on there, so they can you can join and be part of our little family.
Awesome, awesome. Well, thank you again for your time, Kelly. It was educate. Like I said, I've known you for 25 years plus, and I was educated today. So thank you for all
Right,
that.
right. Oh, you're welcome. It was great.
But your facility and what you guys do is even more amazing than I knew before today. So I appreciate the information. Please tell the rest of your staff, tell Becky and Gavin and the gang that I look forward to seeing them soon.
Oh yeah, they can't wait. Ask them at.
All right, take care.
Hey, bye bye.
What's happening at ASCCA? This is the part of the show where we are going to talk about everything that's happening right here at Camp ASCCA.
Hey guys, this is Courtney. Summer is officially over, so we are ramping up for weekend camps here at Camp ASCCA. We had a fantastic summer, a great concert series, many new fantastic staff that we love and hope stay in the ASCCA family for many years to come. Be on the lookout for information regarding registration for weekend camps and all other ASCCA info. See you guys soon.
Thanks for listening to Camp ASCCA, the podcast. We hope you enjoyed this episode and look forward to you joining us next time. As always, be sure to follow us on social media at Camp ASCCA and visit our website, campascca.org, for more information about camp.